Welcome to this sacred space of reflection, an environment where we invite you to detach from the frantic rhythm of the external world, to dive into the deepest currents of your own existence. Often, we find ourselves feeling profoundly isolated within the rigid structures of our daily routines, observing walls, objects, and windows as if the universe were composed strictly of cold, impersonal matter that ends where our skin begins. However, there is an ancient knowledge preserved through the centuries and codified with scientific precision by Allan Kardec, which assures us that this solitude is merely a sensory illusion, a limitation of our physical eyes. In this very moment, a balanced, affectionate, and luminous presence observes your steps with infinite patience and unconditional love. You have never been truly forsaken, not even in those heavy instances of silence and internal pain that no other human witnessed. And today we shall explore how to re-establish conscious contact with this guide who has accompanied you since long before your physical birth. The fundamental question that drives our spiritual evolution is not whether these beings are present in our lives, but rather our own capacity to tune in to the subtle, delicate frequency in which they manifest, so that we may finally receive the profound orientations they attempt to deliver to us every single day. This is a journey toward the invisible yet tangible reality of the spirit, where we discover that we are part of a vast cosmic family that never leaves a member behind in the shadows of the material world. To listen is to awaken, and to awaken is to realize that the hand of a friend is always extended, waiting for our internal yes to begin a dialogue that can transform the very foundation of our destiny. There is a supreme, loving intelligence that committed itself to walking beside you during every challenge faced in this earthly experience, acting as an invisible but unwavering harbor for your soul. This spiritual mentor is not a distant entity or an abstract theological concept, but a long-standing friend, a traveling companion from the stars who knows every one of your virtues, as well as the secret fears you hide from the rest of the world. According to the teachings of Spiritism, before you assumed this physical body, a mutual agreement based on deep trust was formed in the spiritual realms, where this guide promised to inspire your path without ever interfering with your free will or robbing you of the vital opportunity for personal learning. He does not shout orders nor impose directions with a heavy hand, for he respects your autonomy as a child of the universe, yet he works tirelessly in the behind the scenes of your consciousness to suggest elevated solutions and paths of light whenever you feel lost in the shadows of doubt. Recognizing this partnership is the essential first step to casting aside the modern plague of emptiness, understanding that every breath you take is supported by a fervent cheerleader who desires nothing but your moral progress, your resilience, and your authentic happiness throughout this difficult school we call life. This mentor has seen you through previous existences, understanding the threads of karma and the aspirations of your spirit, knowing exactly which internal chords to strike to keep you aligned with your higher purpose, even when the noise of the flesh is at its loudest. The primary communication with the spiritual world rarely begins with thunderous voices or spectacular visions, but rather through a subtle yet perceptible change in the atmosphere that surrounds your thoughts and emotions. You may recall those moments when, in the midst of a chaotic and stressful afternoon, an inexplicable calm suddenly fills your chest without any external good news arriving to justify it. This sudden invasion of serenity is the tangible touch of your spiritual mentor who works to clear your psychosphere, calming the turbulent waters of your mind so that you may reason with greater clarity and receive new, higher inspirations. They operate through the frequencies of silence and harmony, creating a temporary space of energetic protection that allows us to breathe deeply and recover the balance lost in the storms of daily life. If you begin to pay close attention to these instances of sudden, uncaused peace, you will realize they are not mere biological fluctuations of mood or random shifts in chemistry, but sacred spiritual embraces intended to remind you that the universe is actively looking after you in every circumstance. These moments are the spiritual kisses of the invisible world, designed to soothe the nervous system and prepare the mental fertile ground for seeds of wisdom to be planted, ensuring that even in the densest gravity of Earth, the soul remembers its ethereal home and its celestial friends who await its eventual return with open arms. One of the greatest challenges for any seeker of spirituality is discerning whether a sudden idea is their own, or if it comes from a higher influence, And the definitive answer lies in the moral quality and vibration of that thought. Your ego is typically loud, repetitive, and driven by fear, pride, or the constant need to defend itself against the perceived threats of others, creating a cycle of anxiety and reactionary thinking. In stark contrast, the voice of your spiritual mentor emerges as a complete, tranquil, and solution-oriented idea that often seems foreign to your usual patterns of logic, because it carries a wisdom that transcends the immediate petty situation. While the ego might suggest revenge, comparison, or despair as a response to conflict, the spiritual guide will always present paths that lead toward reconciliation, patience, and integration with the greater good. If the suggestion arising in your mind promotes internal peace, genuine forgiveness, or a desire to help another, you can be certain you are receiving a mental grafting from someone who views life through a much broader, more compassionate lens than our earthly sight allows. This enmeshment of thoughts is a testament to the fluidity of the spiritual world, where an elevated friend can project an image or a resolve into your brain, and if you are humble and receptive enough, you capture it as your own, turning a moment of potential crisis into a victory of character and grace. We live in an era of chronic distraction, a world of constant notifications and sensory overload that functions as a dense, thick barrier against the perception of the subtle spiritual plane. When we are submerged in anger, extreme anxiety, or the excessive noise of digital stimuli, our personal vibration drops significantly, creating a kind of mental crust that blocks the arrival of messages from our higher protectors. It is akin to attempting to tune into a delicate, distant radio station in the middle of a massive thunderstorm filled with industrial static that dominates the environment. The mentor remains at your side, attempting to offer comfort and direction, but if you are locked within the fortress of irritation, cynicism, or materialistic disbelief, his mental waves simply cannot penetrate your heavy, energetic field. Clearing this mental house through moments of daily introspection and quietude is vital for re-establishing communication, allowing the superior channels of the soul to open once more to receive the light that is being transmitted to you at all hours. The spiritual radio is always broadcasting, yet we are often the ones who have unplugged the receiver or turned the volume down to zero, lost in the trivialities of a world that promises everything but offers very little to the eternal spirit within. When the mentor finds it difficult to speak directly to your inner consciousness due to the static of your internal noise, he utilizes the external world to deliver the answers you have been seeking. These spiritual friends are masters of what we call synchronicity, orchestrating seemingly random encounters, causing a book to fall open to a specific page, or allowing you to overhear a casual conversation that provides the exact solution to your current dilemma. If you notice that a specific theme, a name, or a solution appears repeatedly in your life over a short period, do not dismiss these as mere accidents, for they are divine orchestrations designed to catch your wandering attention. Coincidence is the language the invisible world uses when it wishes to remain discreet yet present, showing you that your path is being signaled by invisible hands that care deeply for your destiny. To become an effective student of the spirit, you must become a detective of your own daily life, recognizing that the universe is constantly in a state of dialogue with you through the small, overlooked details of your routine. These synchronicities are not just luck, they are evidence of a complex, loving network that works behind the veil of matter to bring you the book, the person, or the word you need exactly when your soul is ready to receive it, bridging the gap between heaven and earth in the most practical and astonishing ways. Our physical biology is not separate from our spiritual nature. It reacts to the presence of high-vibration entities by functioning as an antenna that captures the proximity of these friends through unique sensations. The presence of a mentor often manifests as a gentle chill or a soft tingling sensation that runs down your spine or the crown of your head, bringing a sense of emotional warmth that never generates fear, but rather a profound urge to smile or weep with relief. Unlike the heavy, cold, and draining energy that accompanies spirits who are in a state of suffering or disturbance, the touch of a guide expands your chest and often brings a pleasant pressure between the eyebrows, indicating that your energy centers are being activated for a higher connection. Learning to recognize these physical confirmations helps to validate your intuition, creating a foundation of trust that strengthens the bond between you and your protector throughout the busy hours of the day. When your body shivers in a moment of sincere prayer or elevated thought, it is the physical confirmation that a loving presence has stepped closer to support your resolve, proving that the borders between worlds are porous and that your very cells can testify to the reality of the Spirit's eternal kinship. Establishing a reliable connection with your spiritual mentor requires an internal permission and a conscious invitation, a practice that should be renewed every morning to ensure the smooth flow of the sacred dialogue. Upon waking, before the demands of the world invade your mind, reserve a few minutes to visualize a protective golden light surrounding your being and ask mentally for your guide to direct your thoughts, words, and actions during the coming hours. This simple ritual of intentional opening tunes your inner radio to the correct frequency, making it infinitely easier for the protector to deposit intuitions and helpful counsels as you navigate your day. You do not need complex or archaic language, for the Spirit speaks the language of the heart. Simply talk with the sincerity of someone conversing with an old, trusted friend who is always ready to listen and uphold you. When you begin your day by declaring your willingness to be guided, life begins to flow with a remarkable sense of lightness, and even the most difficult decisions become manageable under this shared partnership, transforming your daily struggle into a collaborative mission of light and learning that honors your spiritual lineage. The state of sleep is not merely a biological necessity for the body, but a grand doorway for the spirit to temporarily detach from the physical constraints and meet directly with mentors in spheres of higher light. Before you fall asleep, you should formulate a clear question or a sincere request for help regarding a problem that seems unsolvable in your waking state. During the night, your protector may lead your soul to spaces of spiritual therapy and learning, where profound advice is delivered directly to your real, immortal self. Although the specific images of these dreams might be forgotten the moment you wake up, you will find yourself rising with an unshakable certainty about what must be done, or a mysterious renewal of strength that seemed impossible the night before. This phenomenon explains why many solutions appear clearly in the morning. It is the result of the quiet, educational work conducted while your body rested and your soul studied with the wise ones of the invisible realm, showing that the night is not an end, but a hidden classroom where we prepare for the challenges of tomorrow under the expert tutelage of the guardians of light. Nothing draws a human being closer to their spiritual mentor than the sincere practice of goodness and a life dedicated to the service of others. When you decide to help someone without expecting recognition or reward, your aura glows with a unique intensity, aligning your vibration with the same frequency where the great workers of the spiritual world operate. In this state of active compassion, you become a colleague of your mentor, and the communication between you flows clearly because you are both focused on the same noble goal of alleviating suffering. Spiritual intimacy is not built solely in isolated prayer or scholarly study, but in the practical act of extending your hand to those who stumble, transforming you into a living channel of light through which your mentor can act upon the earth. If you wish to hear the voice of your guide with total clarity, go out and practice charity. You will feel his silent approval resonating in your heart like a beautiful song of love and duty fulfilled. For we are never more like our mentors than when we are serving the fragile and forgotten souls that wander our world in search of hope and dignity. As we reach the conclusion of this journey into the unseen, we must realize that learning to listen to our spiritual mentor is the ultimate process of re-educating our attention and reclaiming our cosmic citizenship. Life will continue to present us with difficult tests, necessary lessons and moments of heavy labor, but the crushing weight of solitude will vanish, replaced by an eternal partnership of growth and radiant light. You are being prepared to become a finely tuned instrument in the hands of the great architect, walking through this world with the absolute confidence that there is a higher purpose in every tear and an invisible smile in every victory. Do not ignore the subtle signs, the meaningful coincidences, or the uncaused peace that visits your soul, for these are the calls of a friend from the stars inviting you to live with greater courage and wider perspective. Go forth in peace, deeply aware that you are profoundly loved by a tireless guardian who never gives up on your potential. And remember that on the long road to eternity, you are never walking alone, but are eternally accompanied by a luminous brother who celebrates your every triumph and waits with open arms for your eventual homecoming in the light. Would you like me to develop a detailed plan for a series of follow-up scripts focusing on the different types of mentors or how to recognize individual spiritual signatures?